So do you want to start with the date and everything, Veronica?
Okay, today is Thursday, May 16th, 2024. This is the Bronx CB11 Leadership Committee meeting. My name is Veronica Castro. I'm the acting chair. I'm also chair of Economic Development.
So Malcolm, do you mind just going through calling on people, or I can call on them? Either one.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Malcolm. I am the Sergeant of Arms. To the left of me is
Serena Muniz, the Chair of Community Development and Budgetary Priorities Committee.
to the right,
Kelly Rodriguez, Acting Chair of the Safety Committee.
Rich. Rich,
Rich Reynoso, co-chair housing. Sorry, I'm outside right now. Thank you.
Sandy,
Star 6, Andy. Star 6 to unmute.
come back. Ken,
I think she's still
All
having
right,
problems.
Sandy Younger, Health Committee Chair, and so,
thank you, Sandy.
am I
Ken?
unmuted now?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ken,
Ken Yeoman, Chair of Land Use.
okay. Oral, Oral,
We can come back to him.
yeah. Naomi,
Yes,
could you introduce yourself, please?
sure. Naomi Pemberton, Ethics. I'm chair of the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee.
Awesome, thank you. Jeremy, that's all of our chairs.
They're present. Okay. So, like I said earlier, before we start the recording, I'm going to mark whoever's not here absent, unless they inform us otherwise of their whereabouts. So, Veronica, do you want to continue with what we're talking about?
okay, yeah, so right now, we do not have a quorum in person. So our options are to reschedule the meeting to Monday, which I am not really in favor of. Or we can just go ahead and review the full board agenda and the calendar. We won't be able to vote on it. As Jeremy has stated, sometimes we vote on it, sometimes we don't. In this case, I think we should just move forward with it unless there's anyone who has an objection with that.
I agree with you.
I agree with you,
Thank you,
Veronica.
Malcolm.
As well.
Thank you, Sandy.
I
Thank you,
agree.
Rich.
Let's just go over the agenda and calendar.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay.
We did
So
have on the
hearing no
agenda.
objections,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jeremy, I was just gonna say, hearing no objections from anyone, I think we should just go on and move forward with the meeting. It will be unofficial, we won't be voting on anything, but we can review what we need to review.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the agenda, right?
Yes, please.
So I'm updating the letterhead. If you see that's not updated, please let me know. I know some of you here have already notified me of things like that. I appreciate it. Also, thank you, Sandy, for correcting the agenda for tonight.
You're welcome.
So May 23rd, Thursday, May 23rd, you should have that right. Einstein College of Medicine. I have to check the WebEx links, make sure those are correct. They should be. Pledge of Allegiance, moment of silence, gallery session. This is all actually from March, I believe. So I don't know if anybody's signed up yet. We do have members of the public here. So when we're ready to go to the gallery, if they could let me know if they're going to speak, that's always very much helpful. But ideally, they fill out the registration form online. It's just much easier to copy and paste. And that way I put it the way you want it to look. And so you can't blame me for misspelling your name or anything like that. Chair's report. I know one thing we want to discuss tonight or at the full board, but we want to start it off here, is dissolving the investigative committee.
Investigative. Yes,
So
yeah, the investigative committee has done what they needed to do. They have no responsibilities at this point, so I think it's time that we just dissolve it for now.
So I will take this off the agenda, under the committee reports, right? And then hopefully we'll
Right.
vote. You know what I'll do? I'll put it under the chair's report. Unless anybody has a better idea exactly where that should go, I think that would be the best place.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, and then treasurer's report, we should have, one of your reports published. I know we've been behind on that, but I don't know if you saw it, Veronica, I did ask, the staff or to review, and then if everything's fine, publish it.
Thank you.
I do have an announcement regarding treasurer stuff that I can say now, or I can say it later. So our accountant, this will be the last year they file for us. Next year it'll be on our own to file, with the IRS. It's a pretty simple form. I'm pretty sure I could do it myself. I always relied on them because they were very great. They're very good in creating the 501c3 for us. Create a 501c3 sometimes, if you don't know what you're doing, can be a nightmare. But so that's why I was surprised last night. This will be the last year they service us with the IRS and reporting to the
So-
IRS.
We don't make $50,000, do we? So
Yep.
are we doing it the short form, the easy
Yes,
form?
yes, the short form, as long as we're below $50,000 of income,
Okay.
which we never have done since before the pandemic.
All right.
I mean,
Jeremy,
even
I
before
have
the
a question.
pandemic, we never did that.
All right,
Andy
I
has
have
a
a question, Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm involved in a organization that has a 501c3. Do you have to file it also with the state? Because we have to file ours with the state.
Not that I know.
No,
only
I don't
following
think you do.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I think,
Yeah, but
I think
yeah.
I think that should be brought to the full board. I don't agree totally with just bringing it in-house like that. Is there anyone else that can do this for us for free or any other resources? I would like to
Well, we
investigate
currently
that
pay,
first.
we currently pay for the filing, but again, even my accountant, our accountant, whatever, said last
no,
night.
you have to pay for the filing. I know that my organization pays a filing fee. And I hate to tell
Yes.
you, it's not 5 cents. It's like $250, but there's more money involved. I don't know how they
Yeah,
do it
but
for such a small amount.
yeah, I mean, you'll see it in the treasurer's, you can see in the past treasurer's report how much we paid. But it's my account, our
So
accountant
is there a
said,
reason why he's not going to be doing it anymore, Jeremy?
yeah, they can't, they gotta give up this stuff. I don't wanna go into personal reasons, I can tell anybody privately their personal reasons, but it's a personal decision, like, family maybe looking to unburden themselves, whatever. But
That's fine,
they
you don't have
told
to
me
go into
last night that, yeah, I could easily do it. I mean, we could do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be me, like Veronica. I mean,
So is
Veronica's
there-
done somewhat versed with this already.
Is there someone
It's
you
a
can
very-
recommend that, I'm sorry, Veronica.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can
I was
ask.
No, that's fine.
I can ask, but
If-
I don't believe they will recommend anybody else.
I mean, if anybody has a recommendation on anyone, we could take that into consideration. I know that, excuse me, I know that the form is very simple to file. There's not much that goes into it because, we have it for the Allison National Merchants. It's a very simple form. But if the board feels more comfortable with us having someone do it, we can do that. If anyone has any recommendations, just let us know.
And the other thing too is, it would be cheaper for us to file it ourselves. And we do not have income. And it's, we're below 7 at this point, probably, or around 7,000.
Well, why don't we just, we have time. We can bring this up some other time and figure out what we gotta do with it.
Yeah, because we
All
can't
right.
really make
Yeah, I
a
don't wanna take
motion
it
or
too
vote
soon.
on anything tonight anyway, so. But it's good to know that that's something we have to delve into further at a later date. And I don't think we should wait till tax time to
Yeah,
start figuring it out.
Jeremy, I think maybe you could bring it up at the full board meeting, like not to have. an
Yeah,
extensive
so I'll bring it up under, it's either my report or your report, Veronica. It's up to you, whatever, however you want to do it.
Or
But, like,
why
You
not
not
can bring it up
under-
under your report.
What about bringing it also up under new business?
time.
We could, that's at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
But like, just limit the conversation on it, because at the end of the day, that's something that's going to be made more in-house than, if, you know what I mean?
Jeremy, it sounds like yours is
Yeah, I mean, look,
Very
I
good.
didn't have to bring this to your attention,
not
but
complicated.
How much more minutes? All right.
all right. So committee reports, leadership is tonight, obviously. So nothing to vote on tonight.
Right.
Oh, I do need to know about the check for Juneteenth. I want to make sure, we don't have any problems with that. So I
That
will
was
touch
already
base with.
voted on and approved, wasn't it?
Yes, no, definitely, but I want to make sure there's no, unnecessary delays, so.
I
didn't
don't know why there would be a delay.
Yeah,
We
no,
could
no.
just
The only,
have the
the only
check
delay right
issued.
now is remembering.
Okay.
Nobody's brought it up, but I
Let's
mean, I have
remember
thought
not
about
to
it. It
delay it.
just gets put on the back burner, that's all.
Okay.
What's going on
And
here?
I ought to remember, Jeremy, I brought it up and it was approved at a meeting to give Leon, the man at Bronx House, who's going to set up and clean up after, a little stipend.
Yeah, I think we should wait till the event's over for that one, though, no? I don't think we should pay somebody for cleaning up if they haven't cleaned up yet, right? Yeah, right.
Okay, other question is, I did not see Juneteenth on the calendar,
If you looked at the update, I did put it
but
there.
not for the barbecue.
Well, I don't know. They are doing a barbecue. I don't remember, but I did send out an update today. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was there.
No, it was
Did you
there,
look?
but it didn't say, I didn't see the barbecue. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put all that on the calendar because it's not, there's space
Okay.
limitations with it. That's why I put click here. So whatever flyers drafted will be attached to it,
Okay.
right? I
So
mean,
Jeremy,
it
can
is on
we
the
put it-
calendar then.
Jeremy,
I mean, we're
can we
not
put it on the
calendar-
schedule?
We're not on
to
the
get
calendar right
check
now
out?
anyway.
Wait. All right, I think it's a little bit of an issue with over talking. There's a
Yeah.
lot of chat. I think for Veronica, I know you just lead it.
Go ahead, V.
I just saying that I'd like to get the check out to, I think Serena, you're the one that we give the check to. I would like
Yes.
to get that out no later than Wednesday of next week. So that way they have it in time to use the funds for whatever it is they need to use them for.
Yeah,
That
how
would
about
be
we
fantastic.
make sure
I'll
we
be
bring
sending
a
an
check.
invoice.
Yeah, let's bring a check to the meeting Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, I had to stop sharing because it was like freezing up on me. Hold on.
No problem.
Yeah, I only brought that up because I saw the committee report from whenever this was previously. But look, I know you guys are just used to me automatically doing stuff. And, I generally can, but it always helps to get prodded every now and then. All right.
It's fine. Sounds good.
I did get out the Yankee Award stuff, so I can put that on my report. I got to follow up with them, the Yankees, about. I'll try to get an update for if we have a game day for this year. Try to get an update by the meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So, public hearing for City Yes, should I put that on the agenda or I know, well, then again, I know they're technically Wendy's not a member of this committee, but she is present, I believe, or is or was. Since we're-
Right. Yeah, she's here. Wendy?
I'm here.
Yeah, so I'll put that under your report for the agenda, the public hearing.
Yes. Yes.
Close this. It's not working right.
Also, in regards to tag along the city of yes, Jeremy, I'm gonna send you a survey that Edgar and I created to collect some data information for the city of yes from the public. So I'll send you that tonight so we can have it blasted out to our listserv.
Okay. So anything else that I can think of that needs to go on the reports? Did anybody vote this month? I don't think anybody
Only
did.
on the health committee, we are going to bring up a recommendation to write a letter of support for the nurses, so we could bring that up at the meeting. Nothing was voted on, but we said we would bring it up. And I'm waiting to get more information from the nurses organization.
Okay. So letter of support for the New York State Nurses Association.
Yeah. For the it has to deal with Montefiore and the Children's Hospital and what they're setting up in Westchester Square.
Okay.
And Jeremy?
Yes.
So this is Serena. So in June, for community development, just a reminder to the entire board and the committees that all of their committees, capital and or expense asks for this year, for fiscal year 26, should be submitted by the end of June. No, 26. I'm talking about 26 next year, fiscal year 26. For the community developed budgetary priorities. Right now, the last one that came out was fiscal year 25, and that's right now what city council is kind of going through and all that. So for fiscal year 26, we're gonna have a public hearing in September. So just wanted to notate that, but if everyone can submit, that would be great, so I could work on it over this summer.
Yeah, and because that's obviously a little confusing for some people, the fiscal year ends or begins July 1st, ends June 30th. So it always, when she says 26, we're really talking about 2025 through 2026. So July 1st, 2025 until June 30th, 2026. That's why it's called 2026, because it's when it ends. Okay. So I should put that in your report, right?
Thank you. Yes, please.
I'll just say, do you want me to just put generic budget priority request for 2026, FY 2026?
A committee, say committees like CB11 committee requests.
Committee budget priority requests for fiscal year 2026.
But plural, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else for the calendar or the agenda? The agenda. We'll get to the calendar. The agenda. Well, I mean, you could probably also just remind people about Juneteenth. Also, Sandy, you want to remind people about the health fair.
Correct.
So I'll put those under there too. And also, second annual Juneteenth, which is what I think I
Yes.
put on the updated calendar.
Yes.
Okay. So, anything else for the agenda?
Under my committee, I would like to put out there that I would like to work with grassroots. And I'm gonna put together a Google form like Cynthia recommended. Thank you, Cynthia. And put some dates together and see what people would like to do if they would like to participate.
And Grassroots is not for profit, right?
That's correct.
And so how do you want me to word it? Grassroots,
Food,
not for profit events?
non-for-profit food, yeah.
Okay. Christopher's not for,
Oh,
okay.
God.
So I'll say proposed, because you want to propose it, right? All right,
Correct.
there's something else with the agenda. But I guess we'll come back to it. I mean, maybe, too, Ellie, you want to announce or remind people that, you know, your committee had a meeting last night. Only you were the only one who showed up. And that it would be nice to vote on, a new chair for the committee, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That also goes, I believe, for education, correct, Jeremy? They also
Yes.
should be voting on the new chair.
Yes. Yeah, again, I did ask Carrie to reach out to Chun, but no update yet, to my knowledge. Okay. I know there's something else, but whatever. Oh, we did get a license in for, today. We got this in the mail today for, Adios, his liquor license. And then a deli grocery, which I think I'm gonna ask Chris usually deli groceries are off-premise consumption, and off-premise consumptions do not have to notify us. Even though sometimes it's nice to be notified. Those are the two things that came in. So you do have at least that for June
Okay.
for economic development. Oh, and then parks, I should mention that Parks and Recreation, they have, the Parks Department is coming to the committee to speak about, the Palm Parkway Malls project.
Waiting for them to finish.
Okay.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I heard you, Jeremy.
And housing. Department of Social Services is coming to speak about the Blondale shelter, which is nearing completion. It's a matter of months from what I know. So they'll give a presentation on the Blondale shelter. That's the first homeless shelter that will be, seems like will be up and running in our district. And there is something else with the agenda.
I have a question. Did they ever say who's going to be the provider of the shelter?
So I don't know if it's changed since 2018 or 19, whenever I think it's 2018 when they first proposed it. It was, I think it was Coalition for, no, it wasn't. It was Caring for the Home. I don't remember the name off the top of it. I'd have to search my archived emails. It's not, then again, it's probably on, I want to say it's like Coalition for the Homeless or something like that.
Okay.
Jeremy, did Daniel get back to you to confirm about coming to the June economic development meeting?
Oh yeah, because somebody a member of your committee was interested in having small business services at your committee. I don't think he did. Yeah, I'll email him just because I don't know if we actually put it in writing because we only spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah, I just want to confirm if he's coming or not. And I asked the committee, and I have to send out an email, which I'll do, to ask them for any questions that they may have for him. But I just want to make sure we don't go through that exercise if he's not actually coming.
Yeah, and if there's something that particularly stuck out with you for when he came and spoke at our last full board meeting, if we can kind of help, not just a generalized come speak to us thing. If there's something specific you want him to touch on, sooner rather than later is better.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the committee. I know Ed Perez is the one who, if I remember correctly, is the one who suggested that SBS come to the meeting. So I'm sure Ed will probably have some questions, but I'll reach out to the committee and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Jeremy.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
Jeremy, it's Serena. I did forget to mention one more thing I'd like to add to the community development report. I do apologize. I submitted a request for expression of interest to the Mayor's Community Affairs Unit. And we just got approved, for the Neighborhood Support Project. So that's something that I want to, inform the board about. So
Now,
you can just put, NST.
yeah, I'll spell it out, neighborhood support. What's the T stand for?
Team.
You
Neighborhood
said
support.
neighborhood,
Now, that's a grant.
No. Oh, thank you. It was it's not a grant, it's a project that the Community Affairs Unit at the mayor's office, offered the entire city and all community boards to submit, their interest. And so I did early back in, January, out of 88, I believe it was 88, submissions, across all 5 boroughs, 12 were selected and we were one of them. So
That's great.
there's more information to come down the pipe. As of today, I just received, an email, informing me that there will be a meeting scheduled, to discuss, and then I can report back.
Now, did you have to propose a particular idea to get that?
So basically it was a form that that we filled out, or that I filled out, just indicating our needs, right? And based off of our needs and understanding what our district needs report was, there were things that I highlighted that I felt that the New York City agencies could assist us with. And so I must have presented a compelling argument because we were selected. And so once I meet with them, then I'll be able to report back.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, great. Veronica, is there anything else for the agenda?
Not that I can think of. Serena, that's awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, excellent work, Serena.
Thank you. Go CB11.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good with the agenda, Jeremy.
I'm closing it, saving it, closing it. Now we'll do the calendar, right? All right. So is anybody here from transportation? Is Rich, are you on that committee? Anyone?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So I'll follow up with Rabbi on that. April, I know, is not here. She does not have a co-chair. So that's something that you should talk to her about, or we should talk to her about, somebody should talk to her about, in terms of maybe they could meet to try to figure out who would like to be a co-chair. Education, again, as Veronica said, they need a chair. Housing, we spoke about. Department of Home Services. City of Yes, public hearing. Wendy's gonna get back to me on the location. Although it's definitely gonna be on WebEx, and we'll see what else.
Wait, time out. Jeremy, we can't
Yeah.
do it. We can't do it at Einstein or at Cavalier.
Calvary.
Calvary. I'm sorry.
You can, but do you think we're gonna get a turnout bigger than Metro North? Or
With
is
this
it just the
topic,
same?
most likely.
Might be the
Well,
same.
the other thing too is we don't need to have the public hearing in person. Although I think people would want to be in person.
Yeah. Personally, I think from the optic of everything, and just trying to do this right, and just making ourselves more engaged. I think we should do it in person.
Yeah.
Malcolm, the
well,
committee will talk about it. I'm gonna send an email around to the committee to discuss.
All right.
Just remember, if we don't go to a location outside the office, we'd have to pay a recording company to do it,
Okay.
to record it. Health, Sandy, I think you already have guests, right?
for June, yes, I have several speakers.
So I know some people don't know what DSC is. It's a district service cabinet. They arguably are antiquated, although it is good to do it every now and then. But anybody who wants to know more about the district service cabinet meeting, let's talk later, because I don't want to waste too much time. But it's the only meeting that's definitely guaranteed legally closed to the public, unless I choose to open it. I am the chair of that committee. But right now, the cabinet does not want to open it to the public. So again, if you have questions, let's talk about it later, please. Parks and Recreation, they have, as discussed, they have a guest. You know, Janice isn't here tonight. Juneteenth is there. On the 15th, it's 12 before on the 15th. Ethics. So I think we need to find out Ken. And I don't know if anybody is concerned about the Eid, but Shavuot, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Is that a problem? I don't think that, at least for the 13th, that shouldn't be a problem, should it?
Jeremy, when you said, you don't know if anyone's concerned about the Eid, what do you mean?
So, in terms of generally speaking, it's okay to have meetings on Muslim. Most people don't have an issue with having meetings on Muslim or Christian holidays.
I don't
Well,
think we
you know,
have any meetings on any holiday. That's my opinion.
yeah, I know.
religious
That's
holiday.
what I'm asking.
So I just want to say that, that's just my opinion. The Eid is a big holiday.
Yes,
And it shouldn't happen. I mean, we should respect the way we respect across the board.
Yeah, I think ultimately that should be left up to each individual committee, unless the committee chair wants to make that decision on behalf. I mean, the board couldn't override any committee too.
I mean, I don't necessarily, well, I just want to remind you that there were times when we wanted to have meetings on a Friday and it wasn't even a committee individual or person. It was just like, it was just brought about that, you know, usually Friday is not a good day. So I don't think it should be a committee thing. I think it should just be an overall sort of.
I mean, just think about it, it's public safety. How do you feel about that?
Huh?
The public safety meeting.
Yeah, the other thing too, we gotta be mindful of is if all these committees are gonna have their meeting,
Majority.
it's gonna be a problem to have meetings.
Well, Ellie said he's not, doesn't have much, he'll vote majority when we decide for that. The 24th and the 25th is available, so maybe we can get those committees to move to those days.
Yeah, the problem with the 25th is it's usually the same night as the precinct council meetings. Too. That's the other thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I was actually gonna ask Sue if we could move leadership for this month to the 24th. I think that's the latest we can have it.
So and that frees up the 27th to move a meeting.
Well, 27th is our full board meeting.
I mean, not the 27th, the leadership, right? That would be.
Right, the executive board and leadership, and I'll.
Yeah, it
check
doesn't
with
it doesn't
the
really free it
executive
up. It's
board.
just a lateral move.
Yeah,
Why is it doing that? Hold on, sorry.
Well, it does, because then if we move public safety or, you know, I think that's ethics and disciplinary, if it can happen. I'm just,
Well, Naomi. First Naomi. Naomi?
Well,
I'm here. I hear everything.
what
Are
about
you
the
okay?
executive board?
Everything you're saying. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Are you okay with moving your meeting to the 20th?
but what about public safety? I understand, but we just spoke to public.
I know, we just moved this.
So he can move to the 20th.
Yeah, but he said that we both
And
majority.
what, I'm sorry, what meeting are you moving and?
The 17th, because it's a Muslim holiday. We
Okay,
kinda
yeah,
don't
no.
wanna- Okay,
I respect that. Yep. Nope, no problem.
Thank you, Naomi.
and then and I guess we have to Veronica decide and have the executive board meeting.
Well, it's up to
yeah,
I
we
mean,
can.
go ahead.
I'll talk to Hazel and Malcolm and see if there's anything we need to talk to the executive board. Otherwise, we can just have the leadership, but we could talk about that closer to that time. You could just put it on the schedule for now.
Do you want me to move it to the 24th since I'm also moving
Yeah.
leadership?
Yeah, both of them on the 24th.
So that's 2 slots now open on the 20th. So if Naomi's moving to the 20th, I guess if Ellie's okay, he goes to the 20th too, and that frees up the Muslim holidays.
Someone would have to have an early meeting if they're both going to meet on the 20th.
Right.
Also,
You guys can stay.
also, everybody, before we just assume that like it's a problem, maybe on the 17th versus maybe the 18th is the more important day. Maybe we should reach out to some of our people of the Muslim faith just to, because if it does, again, we're running out of dates because Juneteenth too. I think we should definitely not have a meeting on Juneteenth.
18th? Oh, well.
19th.
No.
I'm being working that day regardless personally.
But we have the dates.
Yeah.
But it is a holiday. We should respect that. It is a holiday.
Absolutely.
Juneteenth is a federal holiday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's federal holiday.
Well, all right. So the 20th is now open. So I guess Naomi and Ellie can discuss which time slots they want to do. If they want to do both that day.
And maybe they want to reach out to the committee members because maybe the 25th works for someone, but it doesn't work for some others, you know?
Right.
Both
So are we talking about moving economic development now too?
So that again?
Yes, because remember, when we were talking on the phone with Daniel, then yeah, Juneteenth was an issue for him because he wasn't gonna be around or something.
So should we put it, Malcolm, do you think we should put it on the 25th? You're a part of the committee, so.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think so. I'll be there that day.
Okay. So Jeremy, can you put it on the 25th and I'll reach out to the rest of the committee to make sure that it's okay with them?
So remember, that is the precinct council meeting, so just, I don't know if you have anybody that's on the precinct council.
I know. I don't think so.
All right.
And Jeremy, just a reminder, Chris had texted you. Rabbi's not in the meeting, but he wanted to remind you about a public hearing on DOT's reconfiguration of White Plains Road traffic for the month. Are we supposed to be scheduling one of the public hearing for that?
I mean, we can, but I don't think we have any formal say in it, whereas city, yes, we actually have, where you have the ability to make a recommendation. So maybe that's another thing we should do. We should check with DOT. I mean, it would be good to notify the public, but if I were to do that, we would do it on the 3rd, right?
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, we would have to, if it's gonna go on the transportation, then we could do the public hearing as their meeting. We'd have to confirm that with Rabbi though.
Okay. So then Naomi and Ellie, you'll get back to us or me, staff, whatever, about ethics and public safety. Ken, did you comment on, I believe these are Jewish holidays, are they not? On the 12th and 13th? Ken, is Ken still in? Yes, no, maybe so.
I don't know.
All right, well, then until further notice, it will stand, I guess, as is. So Ellie, Naomi, or you want me to just move something to the 20th now? So you at least have the spot.
Wait, so
Naomi, go ahead and pick.
Is Naomi still, she may have to step away, maybe, I don't know.
So the option is what, 6 to 7, 7 to 8? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'll take whatever she doesn't want.
Yeah, well, right now, it's only the 20th we have open, unless you combine it for a different day, combine meetings. Or if the public hearing on the 6th is not in the office, that's an option too. All right.
Yeah. I'll
So-
take the 6 to 7 slot if she wants a 7 to 8. Perhaps somebody will show up and You talked to me that day.
What time do you want, Ally?
I'll take the 6 to 7.
Okay. So I will put, should I put Naomi's committee here or wait till you hear from her? What do you think? I mean, I'll put it there, I guess.
Where else can you put her at this point? I thought that was the discussion.
Yeah, well, but if I don't, maybe the 20th doesn't work for her. Maybe she's in Miami.
Well, she's in the meeting, so once she says it, and we revisit.
Well, if the
Yeah.
20th doesn't work for her, and then you move me to 7 o'clock.
All right. So this looks fine for everybody then? I have
Yes.
everything? Or for what we need for now? All right, so I'll save this. Veronica,
Looks good.
do I go to the gallery then, I guess, unless you have something else?
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else. I don't think anybody else on the committee has anything else.
Yeah.
If not, we can move on to the gallery.
Christine, Cindy.
So anybody in person? I see hands raised.
Yeah, we do. You want to start, Veronica?
Ladies first, Cindy.
Malcolm, since you have a better viewpoint, can you start calling on people that are in?
All right. Cindy.
Good evening. I have two thoughts today. One is the chronic issue with meeting quorum. And I tuned into Ellie's meeting yesterday, and it was bad. It was just really disheartening to see like just that you were sitting there in the office. I don't know if perhaps at the full board meeting, I mean, I'm all for like very basic ideas, like getting a box and asking people to see, board members, like what is keeping you from, attending committee meetings? What can we do to help, ensure a better quorum? Like, just like a suggestion box or something, because we have to address this as a board. It's just a chronic issue. It's been really bad over the last few months, and we're not, it affects our ability to do anything. That's one. Number two, as far as holidays, there are a limited number of days in a month, and if we're going to, skip meetings for every holiday, then we'll never have meetings. But I think that one thing we should consider is whether or not they are obligatory holidays. I am Catholic, and in the Catholic religion, we have holy days of obligation. Like those are days that, come hell or high water, bad choice of words.
Sure.
Like you would have to go to church, you would have to, like observe. I know that, I guess in the Jewish faith, they have days that are.
Why are you looking at
Because you know this stuff. So I think that
after sundown?
yeah, so maybe we can approach it from that perspective and consult with some people in the community who might, observe and get their sense of it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree with you, Cindy. I think this is something that we need to look at, because not all holidays, I don't think, need to be observed so strictly. We should be able to have meetings on them, but again, we need to reach out to people in the community of the related faiths to see which ones are obligatory, and we can go from there. As far as attendance, I've asked Jeremy to put together an attendance for the committees as well as the full board, because I want to review them, because I too am really upset with the fact that a lot of these committees are not getting quorum. We're not able to have official meetings. And I think that's something that as a full board, we need to look at. And if people are not able to handle the responsibility of too many committees, then we shorten it so that they can attend one or two committees that they're able to attend, because not having quorum is actually not helping the community. And if somebody has an issue and the committee can't vote on it because we don't have enough people in attendance, that's a very big issue for me.
And now, what about informing the community board that you're not attending a meeting? So at least we can, so without me having to show up and not have anyone here. I'd rather just, know in advance that we're not going to have a meeting and we just get canceled. Like each member of the committee can just say, no, I'm not going to tonight's meeting. And then we can just call it off. We're not gonna have a quorum.
The only issue with that is that we don't have enough time at the same day to tell the public that we're not having a meeting that was already scheduled on the calendar. We've had issues with them coming back to us about that. If they have an issue that they need to bring up and they see it scheduled on the calendar and then suddenly the same day that it's scheduled, it is canceled, I don't think that's fair. If they can't come to the committee meetings, then that's something that we need to look at. And in our bylaws, it says that if they miss a certain amount of committee meetings and or full board meetings, that we could bring them up and for review on their attendance. So I think that's something that we need to start looking at.
So Melly just gave a really good idea that I would like to explore if possible. So like, for example, one of my children is in soccer and there's something called a Game Changer app. And you can in that, you can say whether you're going to go to soccer that day or not. So maybe we should have some type of like check-in system where the staff doesn't even have to manually call you, which is unfortunately when we need to figure out quorum is what we do. I mean, I know we have the robocalls. I mean, we could also put it, maybe there's a service with the robocall where you can say, yes, I will attend this meeting. Press 1 for yes, press 2 for no.
Oh,
So
man.
we know a little bit more in advance, even though we're still going to probably have to call people in the beginning to get them used to this. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
It's a-
something we can explore. Is that more money than the regular robocall? What's the cost? You know, we'd have to
Or
see
if I
what
did
the
a
cost-
Google form, but then again, that's more, time that I don't necessarily have. But I think Serena raised her hand.
I did, thank you. So, I know that just until recently, we were supposed to be informed if our committee members weren't able to attend meetings. I know that for my committee, I usually send, as chair, I usually send emails to all committee members just to, remind them that the committee meeting is happening. And usually, I'll get a response and then I'll be able to let the admin staff know how many people are gonna be in person and or virtual. So that's also an option.
Yeah, that's something I
Yeah,
do
but that's
also
good
for the economic development. I send out the email all the time to them to remind them, even if I don't get to it till the morning of or the afternoon of the meeting, at least they get a reminder. But I think sending an email a day or two prior to the meeting would help. And I think that's something that maybe all chairs of the committee should get into the habit of. It's not mandatory, but I think it's good practice.
I used to do it, Veronica, and sadly, almost not all, but many never even responded back to me.
I thought it was standard that we check to see who's coming to the meetings and to the full board. I thought that was a standard thing. I would see Jeremy send out emails, saying, are you going to be remote today? Are you going to be in person? So I thought this was all sorted out already.
I think Jeremy did those as instances where we were going to have a meeting and there was concern that we wouldn't have a quorum. Is when he usually sends out those inquiries. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Oh, I see.
Say it again.
When you call to ask people if they're coming to meetings, it's usually done when we're going to be having a meeting and there's concern that there's not going to be a quorum. That's when you guys usually start making calls to see if someone's going to be in or not.
Yeah, but I feel like with the advancement of technology, we could probably have a more efficient way of doing that. I mean, yes, what Serena said is great for a lot of the committees. I know it doesn't work for every committee. It doesn't help when, not every committee chair has phone numbers, so they have to rely on staff for that. Because some people don't want to share their info, and I totally get why sometimes. So there's but I don't think every committee does send emails. I don't think every committee chair does reach out to the members. So that's,
I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
so
Which
I think that's a point.
Yeah. I think that's something to definitely to look at. I mean, but I also I think Cynthia brings up a good point. Is, you know, maybe you should look at and see how people are feeling in regards to the meetings that are happening, you know? And maybe to reassess whether people feel like they're on the right committees. To their, you know, that they want to, I feel like somebody's on a committee that they're passionate about, that they'll take more effort to show up to that. And also the configuration of the meeting, like, is the meeting something that they feel like is, you know, productive, you know, is of their time. So I think that's a lot of things to look at in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We could reevaluate the committee structures. And also just a reminder to the committees, they have the power now to, if they don't feel that their chair is doing a good enough job, or they feel that there's somebody else on the committee that would be able to move forward and put it better and make the committees more sound, they have the option to vote chair. And if I remember correctly, there's no time frame in which they have to do it. They could do it anytime.
I would be cautious of that. Just you know, you wouldn't want somebody to spam it. So next thing you have a thing as to like you're having a committee meeting every 2-3 months because something happened. Personally, I would love to. I think that language should be more refined and narrowed down, to prevent abuse of that type of power in the future.
I agree with that. I don't think we should be changing chairs every month. I think that would actually hurt more than it would help. I welcome anybody to put together language, and we can discuss the time frame in which voting can be done for new chairs.
So that does remind me of what I was trying to remember for the agenda. That's a potential bylaw proposal, right? I think there was discussion in October about setting a time of the year in which committee chairs are selected. I know that was proposed to do it around around a reappointment time, when I think maybe the fall would be better. So maybe the committee would like to re-examine that, the bylaws committee. And speaking of what I was trying to remember earlier with the agenda, is I do believe Naomi has an outstanding bylaw proposal, right? I don't know. Again, she
Sandy?
was.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because there was a couple of things that I provided, and I don't know where the bylaws committee is at with committee proposals.
Well, I think when you brought up at the last full board meeting is about the chair, you know, in the bylaws, the chair has the duty to, when the bylaw proposal is submitted, to bring it to the full board, just to put them on notice of what's being proposed. Because I think that's a step that hasn't happened yet. It could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
So Jeremy, if you can identify which one it is that was brought up to the bylaws
Yeah,
committee,
no,
I'd be happy to bring
I will
it to
do
the full
I will
board.
do my best, but if Naomi can also help me, since I believe it was her proposal, that
Sure. Mhm.
because I don't think anything's going on with the bylaws committee currently. Am I wrong about that, Sandy?
She's muted.
Yeah, *6.
Unmuted or am I muted?
We got you now.
I'm unmuted. What?
Yes.
I'm unmuted?
Yes.
Oh, no, I was. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening.
All right, go ahead, Sandy.
We will wait. At one point, we were told to wait to hear from Tom McCain about one of the proposals I think that Naomi made, and I don't even know where that is now in my list of emails. And the other was about choosing the chair and a co-chair, and about when to vote. I don't think we really got into that.
Yeah, we did.
This table.
Not taking that one. It was tough.
Well, so maybe you guys can revisit that. I mean, it sounds like there's favorability for something like that, some type of consistency.
Because if you're going to change chairs every 2-3 months because someone doesn't like something or whatever, you're not going to get anything done.
You know what the bylaws are for? You can't be changing bylaws every couple of weeks if you want. It's supposed to be vague. Bring vagueness to that.
Yeah.
May I ask? I've had my hand up for like a million years.
So maybe Sandy, like while you're still on the bylaws committee and the chair of it, maybe you want to consider having a meeting, maybe not June, maybe July, as terrible as that is, because of June's so full.
June is full and people may be going away or being busy. We may have to wait till September.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I don't see any harm with that. I don't think anybody's gonna meet to eject their chairs over the summer, are they? I mean, they might.
Right.
Well, nobody has,
Can we focus?
nobody has power to do that. But we are in a gallery, so Veronica, do you want to finish the gallery and we can talk about this in new business?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. I think Miguel had his hand up.
Yeah.
Did, first of all, the bylaws are such that at any time, a committee can elect its chair or co-chair. That is how it stands at this point. I know that there was.
The other
Sandy,
the
wait.
thing is
Miguel is speaking.
that
Sandy, wait.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Something else.
That is the bylaws of the land as it speaks. I know that there was a conversation about possibly making it a time thing, but at this point, as the bylaws are stated at this point, any committee can make a motion to, make their chair or co-chair. I actually sat in on Ellie's meeting yesterday and saw him sitting here by himself. And it was disgusting. And if any person is a chair or co-chair, I understand that things happen. But if you are continually not showing up on here, if you're continually not showing up, you need to ask yourself, what you're really in for. Because it's ridiculous that committees don't have quorums, that committees don't have chairs at some point. It's obnoxious. Thank you.
30 seconds. Okay, Joe.
Malcolm, is there anyone else in the office that wants to speak?
Anybody online?
That's why we kind of went off on that tangent, though, Miguel, is because of
Hey, Jeremy,
the meeting last night.
Jeremy, let's get through the gallery then, please.
No,
All
I
right,
just responded to
let
what he
me-
said. But
No,
Diana has it.
Diana has her
I-
hand up.
Right.
All right.
What, Sandy, Sandy want to respond to that, I guess?
No, what I wanted to say with the committees and the bylaws, when we meet, usually we're meeting because someone has to bring up a proposal to the chair, and then the chair sends it to the bylaws. So you bring it up at the meeting, or someone has brought it up to Veronica. She will bring that up at the meeting next week, and then we could decide when to have a meeting about, say, when is the elections for the chair or the co-chair.
Now I'm going to interrupt you. That's incorrect.
It's not the process.
What did you?
That is
Okay,
absolutely.
let's get through the
That is
gallery and then we'll finish this discussion afterwards, okay?
Okay.
Diana, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So I testified at the City Planning Commission public hearing this week about the Bronx Metro North rezoning. And there was very interesting discussion, and it seemed pretty clear that whether people were for or against it, there were a lot of questions about certain very specific areas, such as Baker Street and Van Nest, and that little corner near Tenbrook and Seminole and Morris Park Avenue. And I don't see why the Land Use Committee, that I remember Wendy had said at some meeting, really is the most important committee in terms of what the community board actually does. I really think that the Land Use Committee should be meeting and talking about these conditions and now is the time when you have to speak with the city council member because that will be the next decision to be made in the city council. And these details are so important, and they're so important to the community members who live there. So I just think it's a real shame that the land use committee isn't meeting this month to continue discussion. I understand that the board has voted and there's decisions been submitted, but to not be continuing to monitor this, I think is really, I mean, what is our community board for? It's so important. And I'm sorry the chair of that land use committee who was here earlier is no longer here.
Thank you, Diana. We'll bring up the concerns that you voiced to Ken and see about having what we can do about having more meetings.
Thank you.
One thing. Oh,
Roxanne?
Yes, but my question is, do you have a quorum right now or no?
No.
Okay, then, I spoke to the rabbi. He said he was gonna bring it up for a public hearing for the White Plains Federal Parkway to Burke DOT proposal. We do need a public hearing because, as you know, it was not included, the presentation on the agenda, so there was not ample time for the public to review it. And nor was there any really outreach besides the agenda being posted on the website. Mention that there was gonna be a protected bike lane. It just said DOT White Plains Road, didn't say protected bike lanes. So I think for us to have community input, it'll only be fair to have the public hearing after the rabbi said he's going to discuss with you. Has that been discussed yet?
Yeah, we did discuss it. We have a tentative date of the 3rd, which is the transportation meeting. With the public hearing on that date, we just have to confirm it with the rabbi. Jeremy, your hand is up. Is there a response to this?
Yeah, so I want to make sure I put that on the agenda, so at least people have on the full board agenda, so people have easy access to that presentation who have not. I don't know I think we might have sent it out. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure DOT gave it to us, but I want to put it on the agenda so people have easy reference to it. So thank you for bringing that up.
So it was not sent out, Ms. Castro, but are we going to have that public hearing was my question, not about the presentation was available after DOT presented it at the committee level. So it was there was no time to review it till after the fact.
Right, so Jeremy's gonna put it on link it to the agenda so people can read it and they'll have access to
wait. The transportation committee.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me
Sorry.
finish. It'll be available prior to the June 3rd public hearing once we confirm it with the rabbi that that's the date that he wants to have it on. So it's just as an informative, so people will have access to it prior to the public hearing.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that DOT did put it on their website, which is why I had access to it, but that was 2 days after their presentation at the committee level. So DOT does have it on their website as well.
Thank you for that.
But that was 2 days after the committee. So that's why we need a public, so June 3rd is the tentative date for a public hearing?
Right, we're gonna confirm that with the rabbi and then we'll send out confirmation.
Yeah, because the sooner the better, so I know I could do the outreach to my community and anyone else who lives within that proposed site, all the way up to Burke, which is part of CB12, I think. No, Burke CB11 can also do their outreach to their community. My second issue is the PS 105 letter. I've been sending emails and emails for almost 5 weeks. Has that ever been sent?
I discussed it with Jeremy. We're going to try and get that out by early next week.
Only because the full board voted on it on March 29th. It's on their agenda. They voted unanimously. Sorry, I'm on my, I took a quick break from work, so I hope I'll get caught out here. I took, and since March 29th, there has been no email sent. I mean, that's almost 2 months. I mean, come on, 2 months to write a little email to say that the board voted in support of PS 105 request to expand to grade 6 to 8. I mean, I don't think I'd be unreasonable, but
bringing that to our attention. So I appreciate that.
Sorry, what?
I said, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I've been sending emails for the past 5 weeks and it's been ignored. So it's not like I bring it up to the board's attention today. I'm just doing it in person to put it on the record.
It's not right.
I mean, it's just not right for the kids. I mean, the kids deserve better than this. I mean, there's enough our community is being neglected, but the kids now, come on, we have to be fair to these poor kids.
Hold on.
I mean,
Sorry, Ms. Staccato. Jeremy, I know I asked you about
but
this.
I didn't finish my thing. You didn't time Ms. Finch, but you timed me.
I did time everybody.
Well, I didn't get a warning, so I'm going
It's
to see how much she was able to speak. But I have a last question because no one responds to my email. That's why I have to come in person or regarding the DSC meeting minutes. None have been provided to me. I asked that request 6 months ago. None have been provided, and nor has it been provided for the March or April that was held. So I would like those minutes, please. I'm doing it on the record because my emails have not been responded by your staff.
And if you want me to respond on the record, please let me know.
But you should you can respond to the email. I wouldn't have to ask these questions
Hey,
here if you
excuse
respond
me,
to the
okay,
email.
Excuse me.
All right.
Oh, let's
That's
stop
the
the
point.
fighting.
Jeremy, give me
I'm
one
not
second.
fighting. I'm saying that if my emails are not responded to, but then why respond here? I mean, why not just respond to the email to avoid us me mentioning it here? Why waste my time? Why not respond to an email that I sent months ago?
Ms. Staccato,
That's my question.
I'm agreeing with you. Right?
Okay, thank you so much and have a great night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Veronica, I did call Jeremy, so I did see the email that Mr. Delgado sent 2 days ago. So I did call Jeremy and I asked him about the letter. I it escapes me what he said, but I know I did ask him about it. Jeremy, do you know what the status of the letter is?
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jeremy. Yeah, I've also spoken to him about it also. Jeremy, go ahead.
So I'm working on it. In the meantime, as I discussed earlier, you know, I can't do everything on my own. I mean, I didn't say that earlier, but and I don't do everything, right? But, you know, today I'm working on the minutes. The only people that work on full board meeting minutes, to my knowledge, is Hazel and me. Or not Hazel, I mean, sorry, Harriet and me. I know a lot of people confuse the two, right? Like, you know, we haven't published minutes since January. Like, if anybody wants to help me with any of this stuff, like, you know, or just, sometimes it's a simple prod because in some ways it's like I responded to squeaky wheel, just like the borough president does, or just like any council member does.
All right.
So that's, yeah, so I've been working on it slowly, ever so slowly.
Mhm.
It's not escaped me. She has called the office. Chris has spoken to her. You know, we do
Well-
work on this stuff though.
Jeremy, just to push back a little bit there, like I think 2 months is a very long time for a simple letter like that.
Well, it's
I
not 2
think
months yet.
yeah, I think Veronica, maybe in the future, what could be done, maybe is the subject letter. We could send it to the committee chairs, depending on the topic, and they could draft a letter themselves, and we can have Jeremy and the staff review before sending it out. But we definitely can't take 2 months to write a simple letter like that. It's unless we have templates, you know, that we can put out, but we shouldn't wait that long. That's not acceptable.
I agree. It's 2 months. I think
So
it's
what?
almost 2 months or it hit 2 months already. It's unacceptable. This letter should have gone out. I know Jeremy is busy. That is not untrue. But I think maybe sending it to the committee. I don't think all committee chairs though will be willing to write them.
Mhm.
But maybe this is something we can try and visit.
Right. Or maybe we could do it in executive committee, have that committee in charge of doing that stuff. But we definitely need to streamline that specific process.
Yeah, definitely. We can definitely discuss it. See
Just,
what you think is
I want
gonna
to
work
address,
out.
if I mind, email issue, since somebody brought that up as if we don't respond to emails, which is not the case. The problem we have with certain individuals in our district is that you respond to one email, it generates another email, and which requires another email, and it becomes this vicious back and forth, which is why things aren't getting done, or can be that way. I'm not saying that's the case right now, but that's that risk we have with certain individuals.
Rich had his hand up. Rich? All right, I guess he's not there. Okay.
Is there anyone else that has anything for the gallery?
Diana was our last.
Can I just say one more thing?
Cynthia has something to say.
I just want to second what Diana said about the land use committee. I remember distinctly sending an email back in January saying like, land use hasn't had a meeting in a while. And I've mentioned it at other leadership meetings. I do think that's one of our most important committees and it should be meeting regularly. There have been joint meetings with housing, but no standalone land use, and I really would like us to kind of meet once again. Thank you.
Yes.
Malcolm, can I have 5 seconds?
Veronica?
5 seconds.
Let me see what Jeremy has to say. He has his hand up.
This is also in response to one of the gallery session speakers who said we didn't send out an email regarding the presentation that DOT presented. Chris did. I asked Chris to send it out. He did send it out on Wednesday, the 5th. So yes, that was 2 days later. And yes, it was a link from DOT's website. And maybe the email wasn't clear enough, but we did send it out on Wednesday, May 8th.
Okay.
Or,
thank
yeah,
you.
and when I said 5th, I meant the 5/8, I guess. Yeah. But Wednesday, the presentation was given on a Monday. Yes, they didn't give us the presentation until the meeting. That is totally, not our fault.
Okay. Miguel, you have 10 seconds.
And can we have a round of applause for Serena for the NSC?
Oh,
Please.
Oh, yes.
thank you.
Okay, I think that ends the gallery session. Do we have any old business?
Should we discuss the committee thing again? Not too sure.
Basically, that if we don't have a bylaw proposal, then I think one should be drawn up so that we could go through the process, get it so we could vote on it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the pleasure of the board is for the limitation of how long. I know it was brought up once before, but at the moment I can't remember what the suggestion was back then.
Any committee can do it right now.
Ellie, you said that the bylaws a certain type of vagueness in it. What do you think that should look like?
Look, I'm certainly opposed to changing a chairperson every few weeks because the committee doesn't like. I think a chairperson needs to be able to plan activities for the whole year. So if anything, the duration should be a year.
But what is the law, the bylaw?
I know we're talking about a change. We're talking about a change, right? Yeah, I didn't bring the conversation up, right? You just approached me with that question. So it's I don't think that it's unfair to a chair to think that he's going to sit in the committee and at any moment can be thrown out because you have a disagreement.
Right.
You could always at the end choose to, change the person. But I think the chair needs to have a time frame to work with.
Okay.
It would require
Makes sense.
Huh?
majority vote.
Wait, come out.
He's asking the question.
Right, and any order.
According to you can't do that, but that's what he's asking.
Gallery speaking. This part right now. Thank you.
So Ellie, is your suggestion, say, if they get voted on in September, and then they go from September until June?
Yeah, I think a chair needs to be able to have a sense of what his frame is, so they can plan. And also, if you can get thrown out in a few weeks, why bother even planning? Why even put your heart into it?
There's no incentive to be the chair if that's the case. Nothing that makes sense, but I also understand if a chair is missing meetings and they're not doing what they're doing, then yeah, sure. But ideally, I think the language should be protective of the chair to keep them in place so they can achieve what they need to achieve throughout the year.
But you have the absence language in there, so it should apply.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
So if I may, I'm looking at the bylaw proposal from November. And that was the proposed election was June of every year. And again, I think the problem with June is, you do nominations in April and June, reappointments are done that time. And if people are not reappointed, what's the point? And you don't have new members of committees, whereas you start the year off fresh in September.
Right. But also, I don't think you want.
Maybe, Jeremy,
What was that?
That was Sandy.
Yeah,
All right.
Malcolm is talking, Sandy, but go ahead.
I'll let him finish.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't need to be.
Sandy, what were you saying?
Either one, Malcolm, Sandy.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Am I,
Yeah, you're unmuted, Sandy.
Now she's muted.
In the meantime, I'll point out Diana Finch's comment, which I appreciate. Thank you, Diana.
Okay. Any other old business?
All right, so at this point, let's just get a proposal for the bylaw change, and we can work from there with it. If no other old business, do we have new business?
Does everybody know how to correctly submit a bylaw proposal? I don't want to waste any more time, but it's kind of important that we know what we're doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it has to be presented to the chair in writing.
No.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be. in
No,
writing.
it does
It
not.
has to be in writing.
Yes.
Why don't you just tell us, Jeremy, what it is?
Yeah, Malcolm is correct. As far as I know, the bylaws say it has to be presented to the chair. I mean, I can look it up right now too. Just make sure.
Yeah, isn't that could be done through an email though, right? And then it would be brought up to the full board by the chair?
So if we go to our website, we go to look at current bylaws, which is January, last amended. And if you look towards the end on page 14, any community board member may propose a bylaw amendment. A proposed amendment shall be submitted in writing to the chairperson, who shall present it at the next meeting of the community board, but no vote shall be taken at that meeting. The proposed amendment shall, after review by the bylaws committee, become an amendment, blah, blah, blah. So it has to be done in writing to the chairperson. And it doesn't say that the chairperson can withhold it. It says, what's that?
I'm sorry.
No, it also, so it doesn't say the chairperson should withhold on the amendment. It says they shall present it at the next meeting. So it should just be a perfunctory thing. It's once it's done in writing, but I can understand the reluctance of a chairperson sharing things, because when you submit a bylaw proposal, my advice, be very specific, say what part of the bylaws you want this inserted or amended. Article 10, section 3, paragraph 4. I want to create a paragraph 4. The more you can make this, like, I can just copy and paste and put it into the bylaws, the better chances that I think people can understand and vote on your proposal.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a vague amendment either. Ellie and I have spoken about it before, and I'm sure Malcolm, you've spoken about it too, that some of these bylaws are way too vague and they need to be more detailed.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry to take up more time, but
No,
I
that's
think it's
okay.
important
So-
we're very clear on how this process is and should be working.
Absolutely. Any other new business?
No.
Okay. No new business.
Okay.
Motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn?
Second.
Yeah, well, you can't vote on it, and you
So we
don't.
gone.
That's true,
Technically,
we
you don't
can't
want
vote on
committee
it.
meetings ending anyway.
That's a
So
discussion.
we have
All
to
right.
all stay here then.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Get home safe.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Sir.